Hey nerds, hypermobility rant incoming. So hypermobile people like me feel like this beautiful little toy. Aww. The wind could blow, whoa, whoa, and our nervous system does not like this, not knowing where we stand, not knowing where our true support, which is the ground, not knowing where it is. So what is a hypermobile person to do who's already overstretched their ligaments because they were doing fancy back bends and tricks like I was? So the first place we want to take any laxity, any slack that's in this system, we want to take it out. Well, we don't do that by moving in straight ways. We take the slack out of the line by rotating, and we rotate across multiple joints to then create stability. This is most important in the ground as the front of my foot is planted, and I'm using the collaboration of the rotation of my hip and the rotation of my pelvis and the rotation of my rib cage, and then I can even add the springy support of the rotation of my shoulders, and even then a rotation of my neck. So I've taken the slack out, and this feels amazing. It's buoyant, it can jump, it can do all these things that the people-pleasing, overstretched, lost in space, hypermobile dead couldn't do. And there's a blueprint for this. So we focus on taking out the slack in the most important positions that have to do with running, walking, standing, throwing, sitting, evolutionary biology stuff. And if you think about this, even if you're not hypermobile, okay, and just by the way, being stiff is less dangerous than being hypermobile, because when you're hypermobile, your nervous system is constantly going, what, where? Because those ligaments and the communication, the nervous system isn't getting a clear picture of what's going on. So we're gonna wrap all that tissue in place. And honestly, guys, I am missing something. Well, there's a lot of something missing up here because it's the most vulnerable part of our hips. That's why front chain back bendy stuff, not so great. Back chain back bends from my glutes and my feet lifting, different story. But why I said all that is I need to carefully wind all this tissue before it pops back out. That's why I teach this stuff. You don't need to have this problem like I do. But the beautiful thing is we can move better than ever if we just decide to and get the right information. The last thing is, so this whole idea is like, if there are individual fibers, and we don't even have discrete muscles. We have these bundles of fibers, and they're all gloppity glooped in the fascia, and there's this meshy body that we have. And so retensioning one spot by itself isn't really the plan. We need to coordinate our resources. Ground to crown, make that ropey strength that's gonna let us bounce off of things and transmit force through our body instead of it getting stuck in our body. Like I said, very sad giraffe. Very sad giraffe.